Today, I want to talk about being a robot. Okay, so um, when you guys are new on the doors and you hear new objections, it can be really tempting to change up your pitch. Okay, well, first let me address. I know that you guys have probably seen a handful of different styles already. You know, there's the switchover pitch, there's the beginner pitch, there's a full written out pitch. And then if you go deeper into the university, there's lots of recorded sales pitches. And I try to be a robot, on the doors, but, inevitably, like I say something different slightly every single time. Um, and maybe that's because I've been doing it a long time and, I get bored and switch things up. But during the core of my first 3,000 account years, guys, I said the exact same pitch every single time. Okay. Now, I'm still trying to adjust the pitch a little bit because monthly billing is a new thing to me, and also selling in Tennessee is new to me. Okay. But we are going to, here within a day or two, have an exact written out script that we want you guys to follow because, well, I'll tell you why here. Okay. So the problem is that when you're new, if you lose a sale, it can be tempting to change up your pitch. You can be like, oh, if I could have, would have, should have said that would have fixed it. Or I lost that deal because I should have said this certain line. Okay. But there's a little bit of a contradiction here. And the first contradiction is there's the words that you say don't actually matter to the meaning, so much so that there's not one magic line that you could have said different that would have really gotten you that sale. Okay. And so because of that, do not waste any effort, especially the first 30 days or even your first summer, trying to reinvent the wheel. Don't waste that, because all of the effort that you put into that is just going to get you in your head, and it's going to make your pitch less confident, and it will end up, you lose more sales trying to reinvent the wheel than you will just sticking with the script. And so your first month, or until you get 30 deals, just stick with the script. And I would say even longer than that. And we're going to get an exact script that you guys can memorize and try to get all of the different, like if they say this, do that, situations worked out. And then we're going to hold you guys to it. Okay. Now, many experienced reps eventually come into their own pitch and slightly change what they say. And so if you knock with other people, you will, you might see that they say a slightly different thing. Okay. And maybe as we scale as a company, we can get everybody on the same pitch. But the truth is, those experienced reps that might have their own style don't have to have their own style. They can literally just stick with the script or a script and say the same thing every time, and you will get sales. Let me tell you guys two stories. Okay, so first one was a guy that I knocked with in 2015. Okay, he'd sold alarms the year before, and he'd done okay. I want to say he sold 35, 40 alarm accounts, which back then, kind of an okay first, year. And he came to us, and he trained with my mentor at the time named Travis. Okay, and Brent went out. Brent actually followed me an entire day. I got 0 sales, and it was horrible and humiliating because I bet he knocked with me probably 4 or 5 hours, and it was like my first and only bagel day that entire year. And I'm just like, what the heck? So that was really embarrassing, because I was kind of the second top rep at the time. That summer I sold 380, but my mentor at the time was Travis, who'd sold 500 accounts. And the next day, Brent, had to go knock with Travis to learn how it was really done. And he followed Travis, and Travis got 6 deals that day. And Brent recorded at the end of the day, Brent was like, hey, just so you know, I recorded all your sales today. Is that okay? And Travis was like, oh, sure. Yeah, I guess that's fine. And, Travis figured that Brent was going to go home. And, Travis figured that Brent was going to go home and, maybe listen to the pitches a few times, try and memorize it. But Brent actually spent several hours painstakingly transcripting every single line of those 6 pitches and got an exact script that he was going to read. Okay. And that was crazy. I'd never seen anybody do that, well, Brent ended up being the top first-year rep that year. He ended up selling 100 accounts. He sold 300 accounts in 2.5 months. And it was just wild. Like he absolutely killed it. Um, and I think that, I think that story kind of speaks for itself. And the crazy part is, Brent went on to having a 500 account summer, and to this day, he is a robot. Like he literally just like he doesn't have. He's not like a like not to like put him, but it's not like he's not very. I could say maybe he's not the most creative guy. He just stuck to this day, 10 years later, with Travis's exact script and his inflections and his everything. Like me, I kind of get bored, so I change it up as time goes on. But Brent, just a robot. Um, Let me tell you another story about Max. Okay, a guy I trained. His second summer wanted to go for 500 accounts, and he like pinned me down at the beginning of that summer and was like, exactly what are you saying? He made me type out an exact full written out script. Okay. And then 3 days later, he came back like he'd listened to a bunch of the online recordings of mine, and all those recordings, I do say slightly different things because they're live sales. But like he came back sounding like a little mini me. Like I was like, dude, like literally a mini me. He went on and he sold 500 accounts that summer. So I believe that the words you say don't matter. If you're a good salesman, you can say different words and get deals. Okay. But you're not your first summer going to reinvent the wheel, guys. And any effort you put towards trying to reinvent the wheel is going to be a waste of effort. Max and Brent are the two top reps I've ever trained. And even though can't really count as training Brent, but the two top reps I've ever worked on besides, me and my mentor, Travis, who ended up training me, 9 years ago. So I think that speaks for itself. I've seen lots of other salesmen change up the pitch and sell 300 or 400 accounts, but the two top reps I've ever trained that cleared 500 were literally just one was a mini me and one was a mini Travis. And the point of that is not to say that there is an end all, that my script is the end all be all, but to say having a script is an end all be all. And so don't waste effort adjusting your script. Or if you have to make adjustments because maybe you're in a local market, write that adjustment out and change it exactly and then stick with it. Okay. Okay, so let me circle back around, and I do want to say that we're still in our startup phase here at Bigfoot. Like as we scale and as we work out kinks, like we're probably going to make small adjustments to the scripts and change things. And so, those changes are inevitably going to happen. So don't think that that invalidates the previous script, or that means because again, the idea of a script is not that script is the best script ever, but that having a script is super important. And so we might make slight adjustments as time goes on. And so don't think, well, am I going to sell better with the old one or the new one? Honestly, it doesn't really matter. But you'll sell better by having a script and sticking to it 100%. Okay, because at the end of the day, it's about confidence. The words that you say don't matter. Okay, so let me make that point real quick. So, before I continue on, so while that's true that sticking to your script is super important, I don't want you guys to stress when you make mistakes on the doors. Okay, they don't know that you messed up the script. Okay, and inevitably you are going to get asked questions that you don't know the answer to, or that throw off the whole script or make you change the order of what you say. Or maybe we do have a canned response to, maybe eventually we'll get, a full written out response to every single thing. But you haven't got that memorized yet. Like you're going to have to be able to work on your feet. And so like you got to somehow be like 100% obsessed with sticking to the script, but don't stress so much that if you break it, it's going to lose that individual deal. Because I promise, like it's not. Like stick to the script, be obsessed with it, but in the moment, like just do your best and don't worry, like in that moment. Now, when you walk away from that deal, worry about it, stress. If I'm going to memorize it, next time I'm going to say it perfectly. But like in the moment, do what you got to do to get the deal. Things might throw for you a curveball, and that's okay. So, all right, let me figure out my thoughts here. Okay, so yeah, I guess my final point is that the script that we have, or the one that will kind of get finalized, yeah, the script that you have is a good script. It does sell. It is amazing. And so have confidence, but most importantly, have confidence in yourself. Speak with confidence, speak slowly, believe that you can sell, believe that the script is fantastic, that it's not just good enough, but it's fantastic. And just because that doesn't work on that person, don't start playing little games in your head of like, oh, I could have would have shoved this differently, or maybe it would have been different there. Like, stick with it, because remember, ultimately, it's a numbers game. Okay. Like at the end of the day, it's about like you've got to balance having a great sales script with a great delivery. But I think at the end of the day, what trumps everything is hard work. Like you've just got to give the pitch to as many people as you possibly can every single day. As you do those individual pitches, you'll get 1% better each day in delivering it. But you've got to work hard enough, and you've got to be on point so that when you finally get in front of someone who is already, call it 40% interested, you've got a really good script that can push them over the edge and get them to buy. Okay. And maybe your first week, you can only get people that are already 80% interested in the company, but your basic pitch will get them over the edge to sign up. And then gradually, as time goes on, you'll be able to use the script and the confidence in the way that you deliver it to get more and more people to sign up. Okay, that's my little speech. And maybe I'll back off on a couple of things that I said. I think most likely as time goes on, I'm going to be more strict with how I want people to stick to the script. But I still stand by in the moment of a deal. Don't stress so much, because remember, they don't know what the script is.